Happy New Year from the Unused Subs, and what better way to begin 2026 than spend time at Tyler Street Sport. From first sip to final cheers, the official home ground of Auckland FC. Today it's Jacob Spoonley, Paul Ifill, myself Goran Paladin, and Football Ferns superstar Milly Clegg. Happy New Year, everybody. Great to see you. Milly, thank you so much for coming in. Now, you've joined three grumpy old men, and we are far removed from all of the celebrations that come with the New Year. What does a 20-year-old get up to on New Year's Eve to bring in the New Year?
Did you see Midnight? First question.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Of course.
Naturally, have to. I don't think my parents did. But I was in Gold Coast for New Year's.
Nice.
So
Lovely.
It was nice with my best friend.
A late finish?
Not too bad, actually.
But what's not too bad for a 20-year-old? That could
I
be
was
4
back at
a.m.,
1.
5 a.m. Back at 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the bloody sun rises at like 3 a.m. in
Exactly,
Queensland. It's
so-
horrible.
I
hate that.
I wasn't going to watch the sunrise. That would have been quite humbling. So, yeah, pretty chill night, but it was fun.
What about for a damn near 40-year-old?
I ended up bumping into Riley Dalzell's dad, so the right back for Auckland City, played in the final, gave Ifill a goal, the equaliser. So his dad, they do a dress up, and his dad was dressed up as Trump, and he comes up to me and he goes, "Spooners, we've met before, you won't recognise me like this." I was like, "Yeah, sweet." And he goes, "But I've got a massive issue." I was like, "What's that, mate?" He's like, "I've just been to the bathroom," and he had all this fake tan on. And he's like, "I've just tried to wash it off, it's not coming off."
Oh, dear. Usually give it about 7 days, though, eh? Fake tan.
Mate,
It'll just be orange for a week.
I wasn't hanging out with decision makers, though.
I went to Riversdale, which is like the Gold Coast of the Wairarapa. really similar to Milly. And then the following day, I was invited round to friends of ours, and they had a guest there, and it was Nicola Willis, the finance minister. So I was big wigging it in Riversdale, if you want to, condense it, I suppose. Obviously, going after policy and trying to work out the thing for the regular Kiwi. No, I didn't speak any politics at all.
Could be a future gig for you, mate. Like get into Kiwi politics after your football coaching career is done.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that. We'll see how we go.
My New Year was almost a total disaster. So earlier in the day, myself, the wife, and the 2 kids went to a friend's house, and we had a lovely day swimming in our friend's pool. And then the idea was we take the kids back home. My mum comes over to our place and does some babysitting, watching the kids while they're in bed asleep. And then we go back to the house and have a few more drinks. Except when we got back home, not only did we put our 2 kids to sleep, my wife fell asleep as well. And so I'm sat on the couch with my mum watching a Boy George documentary on TVNZ1, and then my wife emerges at 9:45 p.m. and I'm still in my togs, in my singlet, and I'm like, "Well, you're all dolled up. Are we going?" "Yep." "Okay, cool."
How long did it take you to like straighten your hair and stuff, though?
That probably takes about half an hour, 45 minutes. Yeah.
Is that standard, Milly?
I'm a bit shorter, like 10 minutes.
My regime's probably a little bit more intensive than yours. So,
okay,
yeah.
fair enough.
You've just had a season in Canada with Halifax Tides in the inaugural Northern Super League, but you're contracted to Louisville. So 2026, brand new year, brand new Milly Clegg playing for the club you're contracted to.
And actually, how do you say it? Because everyone says Louisville. But
Louisville.
It's Louisville.
I got told off for saying
Louisville.
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 They got T-shirts on how to say it, but I'm still not very good. But yeah, they say Louisville.
We'll muck it up a bunch of times this podcast,
I still
I'm
say
sure.
Louisville when I'm home because that's what people
I'm hearing it,
understand.
but it's not processing.
No.
Louisville.
That was pretty good.
That's good.
It was the best of the lot.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Better than
Thumbs
me.
up, mate. Well done. Gold star for Paul Ifill. You've started off the
There you
new
go.
year well.
I'm going to go now.
Yeah.
No, that's
Not going to get any better than that. So with that first season with Halifax,
Yeah.
brand new competition, did you have any idea what it was like going into it, what the quality of the competition was going to be like, and also the quality of the different clubs involved?
Absolutely none. No,
Yeah.
I didn't know anything. To be honest, I think that year I was kind of just prioritizing finding a club where I'd play and build consistency and get minutes. And I was talking to a few of the teams, but I ended up deciding with Halifax, and I honestly didn't know much about the league, but I knew some of the like ex kind of Canadian players like Quinn and Nikki Stanton and a few other players were going to it, so I knew it would be a pretty good standard, I would say. I didn't know much. I kind of went into it blind, but yeah, it was fun and yeah, I enjoyed it.
Emphasis on the fun there, Milly, because the results weren't quite there,
No,
were they? So,
no.
I mean, as a young player, as you said, you're going for game time.
Yeah.
But it must have been almost building it as you were flying in the competition and the team as well. And
Yeah.
then was it you had a great stat, G, last 15 games?
I don't know if it's a great stat.
It's
I
a good
wouldn't call
stat
it
for
great.
conversation. It's
Yeah,
not a
yeah,
good
yeah.
stat for
Okay.
Milly. Yeah.
So through my extensive research, I
Yeah.
found out that you'd only won 3 games all season long,
Yeah.
and the final 15 matches,
Yeah.
you didn't win a single match. I think there were 6 draws in that 15-match run. I mean, this is a terrible way to kick things off. Talk about the woeful run, but okay, over to you, Spoon.
I guess where I'm getting to, Milly, is that you got that game time. And it's something we talked about last week for young players, is that having those experiences, the adversity, that's probably more learning than you do if you're playing for a side that was up the top of the table and flying.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I actually haven't played in a pro club where you're just constantly winning. So I've kind of had that for the last 3 years, my whole pro career, really. And yeah, I think it's built a lot of resilience. I've learned a lot about myself and how to deal with losing, which I don't like doing. But yeah, I think it's really helped me, and I know that I can get through it, and I'm sure, hopefully, a winning team is going to come along soon, and yeah, it will all be worth it, I hope.
How do you deal with losing? Because I'm really intrigued. This is the stuff that fascinates me.
You'd know.
Yeah, no, I've had a lot of practice at it, mate.
Why are you asking the question? You're very familiar with the concept.
Well, I had to learn very early, Ifill. But for someone like yourself, came through Auckland United, you've gone into different situations where it has been really challenging. So what did you learn about yourself in relation to going from winning constantly into having to adjust? And what is the thing that you've kind of come out the back end of appreciating more about professional football?
I think I've learnt a lot. To be honest, I used to
Did you sulk, basically? 'Cause,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. When I was 17, I was fuming after every loss, and I'd think about it for that next week until the next game. But I think I've learnt, football's not everything, and you have to have a life outside of football, so you have other things you enjoy, so that when you lose, you can move on from it quicker than a week. But yeah, obviously you have to take what you get from a loss and try and improve and whatnot. But yeah, at the end of the day, football's not everything, and I don't base my worth off football anymore.
I am not a striker, and neither is Goran. But
Never was, never will be.
Yeah, I get reminded quite often that you have quite a storied history in terms of being an attacking player and assists and
You're
goals
good.
and all that selfish stuff.
Gotta be selfish.
What's it like when you go from being that junior player that showed so much potential, can rely on your natural ability, and then you get given a different type of challenge and you have to adjust, and it can be quite confronting. And we actually see a lot of players shy away from it, and that's a massive attrition point where you see these players that are like, oh, actually, I don't want to face up to that right now. I'm really good at what I do. I don't want to be doing something that I'm not that good at, or I don't want to have to change what I do to fit into the situation.
I think if you hear from Milly there, I think what she's talking about her career, I think it will stand her in good stead as she goes forward. I think you go to different countries first of all, which is something that I never got the opportunity to do at a young age. But then you're in teams that don't win, so you are having to do other things. It's not like you're going to be getting chance after chance after chance in these games. You're going to be fighting for your chances. You're going to be pressing from the front maybe, and the fact that you've got to do that in different cultures for different teams, I think is great for your development. I look at my career. I remember going my first 15 games as a pro, didn't score a goal, and I'd banged goals in the youth team, banged goals in the reserves, and I just thought, oh, this will be, in the first team it's going to be easy. I'm playing with better players. Clearly, I'm going to be getting lots of chances, and then all of a sudden they chuck me on the wing, and I've been a forward, and you're getting chances from different angles, and it's like I've not even practiced this. This is odd. So it took time to calibrate, and it wasn't till my next season that I actually started scoring goals and felt like I was part of the team. So I suppose for you, Milly, going back into Louisville, there you go, got it. What has the time, I suppose, on loan, having to build that resilience, what does it change? Does it change you as a player, or does it change your outlook going into sort of your first proper season with Louisville now?
I think in the loan, I had to work on a bunch of different things I hadn't really done before. Like, I had to go drop a lot deeper to get on the ball because the ball wasn't getting up very high on the field. Working on pressing and a bunch of different things. So I think I did improve a lot in that season, just with different aspects of my game. But yeah, I think I have trained hard this off season, and I've got all the things that I'm good at, and I'm gonna try and implement that in this next season.
So it's a different Milly that's going into year 3 with Louisville than
Yes.
it was the one that went from Western Sydney into Louisville initially.
Yeah, definitely.
You're someone that's, again, naturally quite gifted as an athlete. So speed's a bit of a difference maker for you. Is it not that much of a difference at the NWSL? Is it that you need to combine with other things? Like, was it a bit of a shock getting there and being like, oh God,
Yeah.
I'm not actually the fastest one here? Something, again, that Groin and I had to adjust to a lot younger than
I
you.
can run at one speed all day long, but it's a very, very slow speed.
Yeah, no, everyone's fast there. We had a girl, well, she's still there, Emma Sears, and now she's on the full national team. And she could run 35 kilometers an hour. It was unbelievable.
wow.
So yeah,
For reference, how fast do you run?
my max is 32.5.
Jesus.
So yeah, she's rapid, very tall, super athletic. But everyone's athletic over there, so it's not really much of a difference maker. So you kind of have to use your other skills.
What were those other skills?
Well, yeah, goal scoring I try and do, taking players one-on-one and then getting a shot off quickly.
That's one of the things that really excited us.
Yeah.
The way that you would want to isolate a defender and back your ability to beat them. It's not often seen in the women's game. Maybe it's becoming more prominent as time goes on and the coaching gets better and the players are better as a result. But I actually think that there's a bit of a similarity between
Yes.
the way that you play your football and the way that Ifill played his.
We're trying to chat
Yeah, look,
strikers
I
here,
think-
Ifill, and we don't have the ability, is what we're saying.
No. I think Miller's similar to me in the fact that if you're getting the ball in a one-on-one situation, what else are you going to want to do? She'll have understood from especially from last season. She's talking about dropping in and having to get on the ball when the ball doesn't come. So if you then get into an opportunity where you're one-on-one, why are you going to give the ball up? Do you know what I mean? I always used to back myself 1v1, sometimes 1v2 if you haven't had a kick for a little while. But I think it's important to have more strings to your bow as well. And I was interested in what you said, Milly, a little bit earlier when you were saying you kind of know what you're good at, which is always keep on that path. But what were you not so good at, and what do you need to improve going into this season? You're talking about being in a world-class team now. What's going to bridge the gap between another loan move or actually getting you in the team on a regular basis?
What I didn't do so much was my hold-up play. I wasn't super good at that because I kind of relied on taking players one-on-one or running in behind. So I had to work on that quite a lot this season because the ball, they were kind of just hoofing it long and then hoping I could hold up the ball. So I got a lot of practice at it. But yeah, I've been working a lot on my link play, and I think it's gotten a lot better this year. So yeah, continuing to work on that while also working on the stuff I'm still good at.
It all happens so fast. I know this, but when you get the ball and you go one-on-one, what is the thought process?
Help us out.
Yeah, talk us through it. I'm going to skin this defender and I've got my preferred way I'm going to do it, or if that's not an option, I go another way. Talk us through it, Milly.
To be honest, not much is going on in my head. But I think it depends on the situation. If it's a completely isolated one-on-one, I'm just focusing on getting past them and then figure out what I'm going to do after that.
But it's not like step
Yeah,
overs
good.
or anything else. It's like
Yeah,
drops of the shoulder
Yeah,
and
I don't do step overs really. Yeah, drop of the shoulder or just kind of seeing where the feet are placed and then kind of judging that, and then trying to go on their weak side, or if they're caught kind of flat-footed, yeah. And then either finding a pass or finding a shot.
I love that. It's so predatory in nature. You're looking for a weakness, and then it's all about exploiting it and how much leverage you can apply. But this speaks to a point that Ifill and I talk about a lot. Ifill, do you want to just talk to what Milly said there, which was holding up the ball, which sounds so simple, but it really is so complicated. And then the B to that A is the skills, the finishing skills, the box movement, all that sort of stuff that you feel like you get into the first team and you see players that need to step up. I remember Ben Wayne standing back with Chris Greenacre for 25, 30 minutes, and they would just do individual drills where Greenie would take him through each of the movements, each of the runs, what do you do in this situation. It's something that you have to work on so much, mate.
Oh, no, for sure. And I think, again, Milly's been so lucky that the club have had the foresight to loan her out to a team that actually is not going to be great, because there's a whole sort of suite of different things she's had to learn. And you talk about, the link-up play, you talk about the hold-up play. If she's in a team where she's just been able to run beyond all the time, well, we know she can do that. But she's in a team that they don't do that as often. So all of a sudden, she goes back to her parent club and she's really bridged the gap between where she was and where she needs to be, because of the way that, not necessarily, it's not been laid out for her, but because of the way the team play, it means that she has improved individually. So for Louisville, they're looking going, shit, that was absolutely spot on. What a loan move. So what you're saying about Wayno there, I think when you're coming through and you're a younger footballer, when you've played in the youth grades, if you've got pace like Milly had, Wayno, myself, so much of the ball is in front of you and beyond. So you get used to outrunning people, you get used to taking touches, sliding ball in the net, but you don't get to the hole. What are you laughing at, dickhead?
You've just included yourself in the mix of
Milly,
people with pace.
Ifill, yeah, no
Right.
spoons, no cheese.
I'm going to send you a few videos, by the way.
So I was just saying a lucky buddy.
I was much quicker than Wayno, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Ifill, we
Sorry,
interrupted you, mate.
I am 46 now. And if you want to raise spoons, you know where I am.
We're going to have to sort that out.
Sorry,
Anyway.
Ifill, you're in full flight, mate. Apologies. That was a great point.
I've
Off you
lost my
go.
train of thought now. I've lost my train of thought. Anyway, what I was saying is the loan definitely sounds like it worked, and big ups to the club really for working out that that's the sort of loan that she needed to get to the next level really.
Finishing, the understanding what to do in the box and in each situation, it's not innate, it's got to be taught, hasn't it, Ifill?
Agreed. Look, there's some that have it. If you look at someone like a Haaland, his movement is absolutely world class. But I think you learn a lot of that from the players you play with. It's not necessarily a coaching thing. I learned so much of my finishing stuff from watching senior players do it week in, week out, and then staying behind. And I think you've got to be willing to ask questions. I was really lucky when I was younger that Dion Dublin, who had been at Manchester United and Aston Villa, he came on loan to Millwall, and he loved to do finishing after training. And I was a winger and he asked me to stay out and I'd hit 20, 30 crosses. But then he'd always go, you go in and do 10 yourself at the end of it. And then he would break down exactly where I should be looking, the timing of movement, why I should be going to a certain spot, where I should be looking to position myself in comparison where the defender was. And he always talks about making sure that you can see the crosser and make sure the defender can't see you and the crosser. So he'd be like, right, so get yourself into that blindside position, then you've got to gamble at the right time to get across. Because the defender can only move when the ball's moved, if that makes sense. Whereas the attacker has to move before the ball's moved. So for the most part, a forward is gambling, whereas a defender is being very risk averse. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Keep going, mate. This is fascinating stuff, honestly.
Yeah, and the other one that people don't do enough, and I was taught this as a young kid, and it was the best piece of advice I've ever had. When going through 1v1, and it's funny because anybody who actually sees this who's been coached by me will know exactly where I'm going to go with this, because I hammer it home all the time. When you take your last touch, and Spoons, you'll understand this, you have to move the ball to the side, not straight on.
Yes.
Because if you move it to the side, either side, it needs to be a touch even that small.
Mm-hmm.
The keeper has to do something. He has to move his feet. If he doesn't move his feet, you've now made an angle to slide it where he's not. If he moves his feet, aim around his feet, because he can't shuffle across enough. And I see players in the A-League every week, and they go through, and I'm sat there with my daughters, and I must do their heading. So I go, there we go, didn't move the keeper's feet, keep it straight to the keeper. Didn't move the keeper's feet, here we go again. And it happens all the time. So that's my top tip. There you go.
Just to jump off that, from a goalkeeper's perspective, if you move the ball to the side, I have to adjust because you've now opened up an angle that I covered. So my leg goes, which means there's probably going to be a gap for a half second underneath me. And then I now need to, I'm like, okay, cool, I've adjusted. Have I left that? If I'm going to the left, have I left the right open? All that sort of stuff. And the last thing I'd just say to this is, in a completely uneducated way, I think, is that when you're finishing with not yourself, Milly, because I realise you haven't talked for about 5 minutes. But
We'll get there eventually, Milly. I haven't talked for about 10, so we'll
with
get there.
strikers,
We'll get
and Ifill, correct me if I'm wrong here, mate, but in like a one-on-one situation, you don't need to score. You don't need to attempt to score. And I know that sounds stupid. What you need to do is you just need to get it around or through the keeper. And that's a goal 95% of the time.
No, but if you look at just to go back, so I was always I'd shift the keeper and try and move his feet or shift his weight, because if you can do that, then you are in the top position. If you look at someone like the original R9 in his career, I think he scored 500, 600 goals. He went around the keeper 88 times, and if you he wasn't a shifter, he would actually a little bit of disguise, so he'd sort of little body one of them, and then the keeper would shift the weight, and then he'd just go around the other side, and then he'd tuck it into an empty net. So it's a bit of disguise or a shift in the ball. It's not as easy as that, because how often do you get one-on-one opportunities? I mean, when you're as quick as Milly, you might do. But again, at my age, at 46, you two dickheads, I don't. So slow down. I have to shift it and slide it where it's not.
It's probably not what you're expecting on your time off.
Unused
A
Subs,
tutorial from the Unused Subs duo of
No,
Paul
it's
Ifill
great.
and Jacob Spoonley.
Yeah, what
did any of that
Yeah,
No,
resonate
it's
with you?
very
I saw you
interesting.
nodding along at times. And the question for me is, do you have somebody like a Dion Dublin that you can rely on that gives you information about like how you improve your striking game?
Yeah, I think at both Halifax and Louisville, I had players who I looked up to and were super experienced, and they gave me great tips in front of goal. And yeah, I had quality players who were playing up top in Louisville. So yeah, learning off them was amazing, and we'd always stay and do extras with a coach. And yeah, just watching how they train and what they do was really interesting.
Is that something because of the NWSL, because of the quality? You've almost got a buffet where you can go and grab stuff from
Yeah.
senior players. So who's, like, as an example, who's someone, doesn't need to be in your team, but who's someone that you've been like, oh yeah, I like that, I'm going to try and start doing that?
Janine Sonners, she's on the Canadian women's national team.
Yep.
She like curls the ball unbelievably. So yeah, just watching her technique has been really good, and she's given tips and whatnot. And then Taylor Korniak, she used to be on the national team. She's like 6 foot and a midfielder, and she gets so much power in her shots. So yeah, it's just interesting watching and learning from her, and she gives tutorials to the whole team because everyone wants to get her shot power. But yeah, just players like that, you kind of take bits from their game that you see and you're like, wow, like that's really good, and then try and emulate it in yours.
Can I talk about what must have been a very incredibly busy time for you? You played 17s World Cup, 20s World Cup, and then you're taken into the Football Ferns World Cup squad for the home World Cup of 2023. All the while you're at school completing your last year?
Selfish, isn't it, G?
How did you manage all of that? Because that seems like a hell of a workload, Milly.
Yeah, it was pretty busy, but honestly, I didn't do a whole lot of school, which is kind of well, in 2022, I was finishing my year 12, so I did do school then. And I finished my exams in Wellington, where I was down just at the start of the Phoenix season. And then in year 13, which was my 2023, I'd kind of already, because I kind of went hard at school when I was younger. I was kind of a try-hard. So I got
Which school is this, by the way?
MAGS, yeah, Mount Albert. So I had majority of my credits to like graduate. I just had to do one PE paper, which was so easy. So
For someone like you, it would be,
Oh,
yeah.
Had you done all of your year 12 stuff ahead of time?
yeah. So I did maths 2 years ahead in like year 9. So
That's like
Jeez.
Ifill, yeah.
yeah, I'd finished basically and just had to do one paper, and I put that off until the end of the year. So I didn't really do school in
So
2023.
school wasn't really a factor during that incredibly busy time
That's
for football.
even worse. She's done everything in advance.
She was thinking ahead,
Oh,
man.
no.
Yeah, I'm glad I did try hard, because otherwise I would have been very busy
Nightmare.
in
Yeah.
2023. But yeah.
So with the 17s and the 20s, obviously that's sort of what you expect, you know, during that period of your life. But then
Yeah.
to be included in the Football Ferns proper for that incredible moment in our history in football in New Zealand, Can you talk to us about the initial call up and being involved in that, and then what the promise was of any game time or any chances that you might have during that World Cup?
Yeah, well, I initially went into that, was it 10-week training camp? Was it 10 weeks?
Yeah, I think 12, I think.
12. 12-week training camp is like a partial player or like part-time or something. But that basically meant I was in for the first 4 weeks, and if they wanted to keep you going, then you'd stay or invite you back. And so I kind of didn't have many expectations. Like, I had a few friends who were full-time in the team and whatnot, so I kind of, and I'd played with them at the Phoenix, so I knew I could do it, but I think the best part about it was I went in like with no expectations, so I didn't really care if I obviously did, but if I made it, I made it. If I didn't, I didn't, and I kind of went in with no expectations, and then honestly, I went in and did really well, which was quite surprising, and I was doing well. I got into the next 6 weeks after the 4-week like selection cutoff thing, and then I think it was 4 weeks maybe 3 weeks before the final team, I rolled my ankle very badly, so I knew it was bad. It like blew up the next day. It was purple, pink, every
We're talking
colour.
grapefruit?
Oh yeah, it was huge. But I went and got the scans, and it was kind of going to be like a 5-week rehab, and it was kind of like, that's just before the first game is when it's supposed to be right. So yeah, that was kind of heartbreaking. But I went to physios, and like my mum has a best friend who's a physio, so I went there every day, got it massaged, and I ended up getting back like 4 weeks. So I had 2 weeks before the first game to just train and do everything. But honestly, I didn't think I was going to make the team because of the ankle. So yeah, it was kind of a shock actually getting in the team. It was really nice that they put trust in me that I could potentially play. But I think that was also such a limiting factor for getting playing time, because I kind of came back and I hadn't played for 4 weeks, and yeah, I missed a bit of time leading up into the World Cup. But yeah, it was unfortunate because I was on such a good run in that training camp, and then that ruined it. But yeah, I mean, still so grateful to get in the team.
But I suppose you've gone in with the right mindset that if anything happens, it's going to be a good thing, and I'm just here for the ride, essentially. And that ride began on opening night against Norway, getting an unlikely victory. Can you take us into the scenes of celebration immediately afterward and going into the sheds? Because this is what we all love to hear about. What was it like in that moment where you've secured 3 points
So cool.
and it's highly unlikely that you would do so?
It was insane, honestly. We had no expectations going into it. We didn't know like how big the crowd was. We were actually late because the bus was stuck in traffic, so we got there.
Crazy.
That would have wound me up, by the way.
Oh, everyone was like
were
on
you,
edge. People were getting strapped in the bus, everything, and we had 10 minutes to get ready before our warm-up when we got there. So
hold up, you've got to get from the bus down to the change room and then out onto the field. And so are you changed going in there? Or are you...
No. We had to get changed.
All your training kit is in the changing rooms?
Yeah, we had to get changed and like do some pre-act.
Knowing some of those women,
I
that
know,
would be,
I know.
oh my God.
Yeah, everyone was so stressed. But honestly, I think it did help, because if we were sitting in the changing room for like an hour before the game, everyone would just been getting worked up and even more stressed. But the fact we were all in it together and we were singing songs on the bus, and we knew that Norway had also been late, so we were both in the same boat, that helped. But yeah, I think it was crazy, but I think it actually did help with the nerves and everyone just kind of playing free, because yeah, it was pretty crazy.
What about the goal, though?
Yeah, the goal was insane. The whole crowd just erupted, and everyone was so excited. The bench, like, we were screaming, ran over to her and celebrated. But yeah, I mean, we kind of weren't expecting it. Like, we obviously backed ourselves to get a result, but to win was insane.
Did it after the goal, did it change a little bit? Because you haven't got those expectations, and all of a sudden you're at home, it's the World Cup opening game, massive home crowd, and you're like, oh shit, we've got a lead to lose now.
Yeah, exactly. I think we had a quiet confidence, especially after that game. But yeah, it was crazy. the last few minutes were so stressful, and everyone was just like, kick it up the field, because they were creating chance after chance in those last few minutes. So it was very nerve-wracking on the bench. And
one of the best attacking sides in the world as
yeah,
well.
exactly. Like, they had Caroline Graham-Hansen, who'd just like been banging goals for Barcelona. So it was crazy to even just watch those kind of players. And the fact we bet them was insane. And then after, we just kind of celebrated. I think Jacinda Ardern came in the locker room, and everyone was just so excited.
It's an interesting time, though. You want to celebrate the result because we've never done that before, never been seen before. You do it at Eden Park, Auckland, New Zealand, home World Cup. You've got 2 more group games to play and an opportunity to get out of the group, which wasn't taken. So it's kind of like, on one hand, you want to celebrate till, Thursday.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you've got to remain focused on the task at hand. So how did the group manage that balancing act?
I think we celebrated that night and a bit into the next day because we had the next day off. But by the afternoon, we were reviewing the game, going over what we had to do for the next game, and then match day -1, we were all locked in and ready to go for the next game. So it was just like balancing that. But I think it did boost the morale in the group a lot. And we kind of gained a lot of confidence from that. But, yeah, obviously it didn't work out in the end.
Shoulders, absolute shoulders. Do you remember the offside call?
Oh, yeah.
Wilkie's shoulder.
We don't want to talk about that, do we?
No, we're moving on from that.
Yeah. They'll change the offside rule eventually,
Yeah.
Ifill. You got anything, buddy?
Coming. Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger's changed the rule.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Daylight.
Yeah.
This is we've got the technology now.
Daylight.
Brilliant.
Daylight. It's just going to cause
You're going to
more
have to learn a new
problems, but
skill
don't worry.
again,
I
Milly.
know.
We'll see less goals, unfortunately, if Wenger's comes in. Everybody will drop off in a deep block, so there's no space in behind. But anyway, that's another story.
You got anything on the World Cup stuff, mate?
No, I just obviously I got the opportunity to work a little bit, and what I noticed, I've played some places. I have never seen pitches of that level. I got to walk across the pitch. Milly, I don't know what you thought, but they seem to. It's like someone had been across and cut them with a flipping cuticle scissors. They were magnificent.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. All the training pitches we played on, like, so nice. I guess FIFA, like, comes around and rips up the grass and puts whatever they want on it, but it works because it's unbelievable.
Didn't see that at Bucklands Beach growing up?
No. Saw a few potholes, actually.
On the Unused Subs, we've been talking to a lot of the guys, and obviously this year is the FIFA World Cup across USA, Canada, Mexico. Next year is the Women's World Cup in Brazil, and as part of the qualification process, you've got to go to Honiara and then eventually play in New Zealand to qualify for the Brazilian World Cup.
Yeah.
Have you been to Honiara before and,
No.
and played there?
So funnily enough, my brother actually went to a qualifiers last year in Honiara, so he told me about it. Apparently the hotel wasn't that great, but the field apparently was unbelievable.
Wow.
They've got
Yeah.
2 fields there. One's unbelievable because it's just been built and supported by, let's say, foreign money. And then the other one's the one where we used to play, it's pretty good. The football facilities are decent. The potholes are still very much there in the roads, though.
Yeah. I've heard, and they also have a fruit that they all like eat and then spit
Spit
out.
on up, yeah.
And it's like blood, apparently.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Ifill, your experiences in the islands, anything to add to that?
I've been to Honiara. They'd have to pay me a lot of money to go back, if I'm really honest. I was the head coach of Samoa women's team, and we had a tournament there, and I actually turned up late because I had commitments back in New Zealand for Christchurch United at the time, and I got there and we were staying on a university campus, and I didn't have a bed, so I slept for 12 days on the university campus floor with no aircon, and we had 3 nationwide power cuts during the 12 days. So I tendered my resignation after that trip. That was enough for me.
Ifill, what's scurrying around on that floor in the middle of the night as well?
No, mate, I woke up a couple of nights with all sorts all over my hands.
Nah.
And God knows. Yeah, it was not fun. But like the no aircon was the one. We had fans and it's just blowing hot air on you. It was not fun at all.
Your back and neck would never be the same again after that.
Well, they haven't.
No, well, it wasn't good going into it. So coming out of it was no fun either. But yeah, it wasn't great. But what I will say is the main stadium, like Spoons, is actually really, really cool.
Yeah.
A lot of foreign money has gone into that. The pitch is excellent. The facilities are really good. And actually, the old stadium, I think it's Lawson Tama.
Lawson Tama, mate.
But yeah, Lawson Tama. Proper old school stadium, and then you've got all the locals there climb up the floodlights, and there's a massive hill up the backside of it, and they just all no one plays, and they sit on the top of that. It's actually quite a cool atmosphere if you get to play.
It is, Ifill, but I'll jump in here because Ange Postecoglou was leading the Solomons 1-0 in the semi-final of the final of the Under-20 World Cup qualifiers, and then all of a sudden, these rocks started coming down pitch side, and what was happening is the locals were getting annoyed because their team was down.
They're throwing rocks?
No, mate, it's a huge hill. So they were finding rocks and they were rolling them down from outside the stadium and through, and they were ending up on the pitch. Danny Vukovic in goal was just standing there being like, I don't know what to do. So they ended up calling it off around at 70-minute mark, mate. But
let's hope that doesn't happen to you, Milly.
Yeah, Ange Postecoglou went there, mate, and look at his career. He's done all right,
Yeah, wow.
But good luck.
Thanks.
Yeah.
There's something of a changing of the guard happening in the Football Ferns environment as well. What are your medium to long-term goals when it comes to representing the Football Ferns? You want to be a 166 cap player? You want to go to 5 World Cups? You want to be the captain of the side? What do you want to achieve?
I think just be consistently in the team and be a key player, and then scoring goals for the team and helping have more wins for the team, because I think that's a big thing for us. We want to keep improving and competing against those world-class teams and getting results, because obviously we all like winning. So trying to help with that, and then I think as I get older that will come naturally, but at the moment, like, the leadership I'm kind of learning off others, and then eventually hopefully I'll get to that point.
It's actually a really interesting point, G, and having experienced this on the field and off the field, and Ifill can probably speak to this as well, is that leadership's very different from being a good operator. I'm sure you've seen some players that have had to learn, or that they've just been like, nah, this isn't for me. I'm not a leader. I'm happy to support.
I've had as a coach, I've had players turn down the captaincy because they've like, look, I just need to concentrate on what I'm doing, and I can't be trying to do this, that, and the other, which is cool that they've got the wherewithal to understand what they can and can't do. I'm not a natural captain at all, but a couple of times later in my career in the National League, they asked me to be captain, so you do kind of what you can. But I think there's so many different ways to lead, and you hear Milly talking there, and she's talking about scoring goals. That's a way to lead. Go and score goals for the country. Like, if you're doing that, you are leading by example. And then the other stuff just can come naturally from there. If you're scoring goals, naturally the players are trying to get you the ball. Naturally the players are going to look to you to be the match winner. So all of a sudden, you are taking on extra responsibility. As you go through your career, you get to sort of your late 20s, all of a sudden that's when you start getting the vice captaincy offered, or the captain. And that's when you make a decision, do I want the added responsibility and all the bits and pieces, or do I just keep doing what I'm doing and just keep putting the ball in? Because the hardest part of football is putting the ball in the back of the net. So by doing that, you're leading anyway.
Well, you know what? I reckon we all need to give ourselves a massive pat on the back.
Yes.
Because we've come this far, Milly, and we've not mentioned your mum. Yes. I reckon that's probably one of the big questions, right? You're probably sick of it, like time and again. Oh, yeah, Kylie, she played for the Black Sticks. She was a captain. She went to 2 Olympic campaigns. Do you get annoyed of it, or you're really proud of what your mum and the rest of your wonderful sporting family have achieved?
No, I'm really proud of it. I think it's cool.
Through gritted teeth.
No, I joke with her. I feel like every single interview or article, she always comes up, and I'm like, Mum, who are you paying to get in these articles?
It's James McCody, mate. In the background, he's stirring the pot.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I'm really proud of her, and I think it's really cool that we both played for our country. And yeah, it was a cool moment when I went to the Olympics, because obviously she went as well, so she came and watched. But yeah, it was cool, and yeah, I'm proud of it, but it is funny sometimes. She always manages to wiggle her way into my shine, I guess.
Look, I'm not. I'll be honest with you, Milly. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, and I watch pretty movies at a low bar, right?
Yeah.
And so when I was younger, I watched a lot of terrible Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to give you a line from Kindergarten Cop right now, which is, "Who is your daddy? and what does he do? Because you've had so much spotlight on your mum.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like Michael doesn't get any of that spotlight. So an opportunity to put him up on the pedestal.
Oh, he'll love this. But no, he played cricket when he was growing up, and he was a very good cricketer. But then he broke his back. So
He broke
How did
his
he do
back.
he was a fast bowler.
Yeah.
Very good. He was kind of borderline New Zealand team, and then I
So he
think
played first class cricket.
yeah, very good cricketer. And then I think he was 20 when he fractured. Oh, it was something, and he had to get a huge surgery. He's got a huge scar on his back, and
Oh my
his
gosh.
back's never really been the same. But now he plays golf, and he's actually a very good sportsman. Just in the cricket and golfing, I guess.
So what happened with the back? It was a stress-related...
Yeah, stress fracture. That's what it was.
man.
In his
So he
lower
was
in his
too
lower
quick.
back.
Is that the
I
issue?
don't know. I guess
It sounds like we're getting into Shane Bond
Yeah, I
territory,
know.
You know, like that kind of pace bowler.
He's
Yeah.
probably
stress
sitting at
fracture.
home loving this, just
yeah.
listening to
Oh
it.
yeah. He's loving it. He's definitely watching this.
Oh.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess one time he was doing his fast bowling and went.
So neither hockey or cricket are football, are they?
No.
There is a person that does play football though, and that is your uncle.
Yeah.
Mark.
My uncle. He played football, and he got 2 caps of Little Whites apparently.
Yep.
But he didn't take it that seriously, according to Mum. Apparently he came to, I don't know if you'll like me saying this, but apparently he came to watch Mum in, I think it was Sydney Olympics, and he got on the booze. He was meant to go to trial in Europe, and he showed up really unfit, and I think he tore his hamstring or something.
Oh no, no bueno.
But yeah, I think he played, I guess, but didn't take it that seriously.
That's not. I mean, that's a pretty good sporting background. Do you feel weight with that, or is it more of a you're familiar with the space and you know how to navigate your way through the trepidations of elite sport?
Yeah, I don't really feel any weight from it. I honestly think it helps a lot because my mum's been through it. Obviously, it's different now with like social media and everything, but yeah, she has great tips on how to navigate it and advice and whatnot. So yeah, I'm very lucky to have her and her guidance, I guess.
You mentioned your uncle who played for the All Whites and then
Yeah.
tragically ripped his hamstring. But you've got a mum who plays hockey
Yeah.
and a dad who played cricket.
Yeah.
So why did you not play hockey or cricket? Or did you give the two sports a go and just realise, look, football's the greatest game of all, I'm going that way?
Yeah, I did try hockey for a bit and I hated it. My brother and I played in the same team and yeah, it wasn't for us. But we have like a backyard at home and we had a goal in there, so we kind of just naturally played from when we were really young, just kicking the ball. So that was fun for us and we just stuck at it and we played together and yeah, it was a great time. That's what we enjoyed the most. And as for cricket, it was always on the TV and I found that it was like watching grass grow, so I didn't love it. Wasn't for me.
Takes too long, eh?
Yeah. Same with golf. So, yeah.
Just a little question going back to you, Milly. Just you were talking about your, the mum and not being in the shadow, but sort of navigating. Do you think it would have been a little bit different if your mum had played football and you were coming from? Because I know my daughters didn't want to play football because of my surname. So they do now, but it took them a long time to get past that, and they didn't want to be playing in the school playground. And people going, well, why are they not brilliant straight away? Not saying that I was brilliant, by the way, but
He was fast and brilliant.
Yes.
yeah, well, yeah, others would say that, but not me.
No, I'm kind of happy that she didn't play football because I feel like I'd never hear the end of advice and everything about like how I should be playing or whatever. She kind of tries to say hockey and football are quite similar, but I'm like, Mum, it's a different game. So
There's no offside.
exactly, so it's completely different. But yeah, I'm glad because I feel like then it would be kind of, oh, I did this, and I kind of like having my own space to like talk to her about not football. So it is nice that she played hockey and she can just give me general sporting advice rather than specific. But yeah, I don't think it would have been that bad if she played football, because it wasn't huge in New Zealand. So not many people know my mum from hockey. So yeah, I don't think it would have been that bad.
Jenny Bindon, former
Yes.
Ferns goalkeeper. She's taking Tyler out to play at Bay City Park, so down the back. I think it's just before she's about to start training. And Tyler's wanting to play out in the field. He's doing shooting, he's doing passing. And Jenny's like, okay, cool, now we're going to start goalkeeper training. And Tyler, like, visibly dropped and comes out the back end of the session. She's like, you okay, mate? And he goes, I've got a question, Mum. Do you not think I'm good enough to play out in the field?
Is that the mindset of every single goalkeeper? Like, I can't make it as an outfielder, so I'll put on the gloves.
So Tyler's just been like, oh no, I'm not a good player, like 6 or 7 years old. But mate, that's to your point, Ifill. That's the reason why I did law, because Dad did sociology and social sciences, and every time I handed in a bloody paper, it's Spoonley, you're related to Paul. And I was like, right, I need to do something different here. So I went off and did law, in spite of my dad. As weird as that sounds.
Yeah. No, but I think you look at Milly. I think she's hit the nail on the head. I think it's nice to have people in different sports, because you're not necessarily in their shadow, and you can take all that knowledge and experience from different sports, and then hone it in on what you're doing. So I think it's probably stood her in good stead, I'd imagine.
Well, oddly, I didn't follow in my parents' footsteps, but my dad was a builder, a carpenter, and then many years after I made the decision to get into broadcasting, I hosted a show that was all about home improvement. I had no idea what I was doing. Someone gave me a nail gun. I was like, what do I do with this?
You almost killed someone with a wheelbarrow.
That's a story for another time.
Yeah.
I think that might be a good place to end it.
100%. Enjoy that one, Milly. It's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I'm very curious about that.
Yeah, I'll show you the vision when we're done. Yeah. Thanks for coming in, Milly. Appreciate your
thank
time, and all the best for the season ahead. And we hope it goes well at Louisville, and the World Cup qualifiers send you to Brazil next year.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
You can watch the NWSL on YouTube. So if you want to follow Milly through her pre-season and into the season, YouTube is the global provider for the NWSL.
There you go.